Hello, everyone. Nice to be here. I will be speaking about ocean plastic pollution, another huge problem that we're facing at this time. And with two friends, after graduating from law school, I visited Vietnam in 2018, and we saw how polluted the Mekong Delta was. And when we were back home in Germany, we figured out there is no company in the world tackling ocean plastic pollution already in rivers, even though it turned out by now that more than 80% of ocean plastic pollution is actually coming from rivers in Asia. So this is Indonesia, where we basically developed our company, where I'm flying to tomorrow and where we still operate, the Citarum, one of the most polluted rivers in the world. And this is exactly where we operate with Plastic Fischer. These are my two friends I founded the company with. It was in the very beginning when we figured out, okay, let's go to Southeast Asia and figure out a technology that we can build anywhere in the world, but I will hop on that a little bit later. So when we were in Vietnam, we saw the problem, and a few months later, we decided to just found a company and develop a very simple technology to collect river plastic to prevent ocean plastic. And our vision was, and still is, with clean rivers, achieve clean oceans and protect marine biodiversity. We identify ourselves as the 3L initiative. It's a little bit the analogous to 3R, reduce, reuse, recycle, that you might know from plastic, and we figured out 3L is actually working pretty well for us. So we operate really locally. That means we are manufacturing our technology locally. We do not import anything, which saves time, money, and carbon, and helps us to quickly implement our technologies. We also create local jobs, so we have a really local approach. Only 2 people are on the payroll in Germany, and we have more than 70 employees since last year, full-time working in India and Indonesia, carrying out these projects. We work with low tech, the opposite of high tech for everyone who never heard of that. This allows us to, quickly repair and maintain this technology and make it possible that everyone can operate it. And working locally with low tech results then in low cost. And this is what it needs to address this huge problem of 8 million tons entering the oceans every year. That's a truckload per minute. So to operate there at scale, we need a low cost solution. As we're a German company, we did what we do best and developed efficient technology. And this is all the magic behind it. We call it the trash boom. It's a swimming barrier modular system, can be built anywhere in the world. It goes so deep into the water that it stops the vast majority of plastic, but allows fish to swim underneath. But honestly, in the rivers we operate, there is not much fish left, unfortunately. But we're working on it to make it an environment they can return to. So we put as many elements together as we need to cover an entire river, and then we put it across the river. And this is then how it looks in one of the most polluted rivers in the world, in the Citarum. This is also where we developed the technology and have proven that it actually works where we want to operate. The World Economic Forum awarded us being a top innovator. We were able to present our company at Davos this year, and I was really happy that this very simple approach was recognized globally. As I already touched on, we have not only environmental impact by collecting plastic, but we also have the social impact by creating local jobs. So 80% of our money that we're spending is actually going to local salaries, which then create the environmental impact. So I'm sitting in Cologne with my CTO, Aviel. He was working for 10 years in the Israeli Navy as a leading engineer building naval architectures, and then went to India, saw the pollution, and applied at Plastic Fischer. And with him, I'm leading the operations from Europe. But the main employees sit in India and Indonesia and carry out the work. Rishabh and Hirsch were the first people I hired during COVID remotely from Cologne. They are sitting in India, and now the directors of our Indian entity. And what we do is we hire local project managers that build the team consisting of local people to carry out the day-to-day operations. And this helps in many ways because these people know the culture, the language, the challenges, the cities, and all that I could never understand it. It also helps us getting this integrity and this credibility because it's local people carrying out the work and not the Germans coming in saying, yeah, we rescue now your country from drowning in plastic. It's really that the project ownership sits in the local community. We then set up sorting facilities it's as our, we keep it pragmatic. I agree on that. It's not looking super crazy like the waste management facilities that we see here. It's not capex heavy, what we saw before. So we're sorting and segregating and drying our waste, the river plastic that we collect, and sort out recyclables from non-recyclables in our sorting facilities. We raise awareness in the local communities. This is not our main job, but we also do this to, also interact and raise awareness for the topic with the local people. But how are we financed? It really sounds like an NGO what we do, and I agree we work very similar to NGOs, but we are a for-profit company, a social enterprise, and we are doing end-to-end services of waste management in India and Indonesia, and are the impact provider for companies. So they want to spend their CSR budgets in an impactful way, and we can do this. We create jobs and we collect tons of plastic in Asia and Southeast Asia. And we do, the companies agree to finance XYZ tons of plastic, and we carry out the entire operations. We build the technology, we employ the people, we deploy it, we collect it and sort the river plastic if needed on a daily basis, and then we segregate the waste. So the non-recyclables go to thermal recovery, where it's incinerated and the energy is used from it. This is the only thing you can do with the vast majority of plastic that you find in rivers and oceans, and everyone who tells you differently is telling you bullshit. So most of this material cannot be recycled and has to go to thermal recovery, and we make sure it's going to the right places. We make sure it's not ending up in the environment again, or it's not being dumped on unmanaged landfills. All recyclables that we find, we of course reintroduce into the supply chain and sell it to local recyclers. We have a couple of companies already supporting our work, and I hope that some of you are also interested in supporting our work after this great talk here. But we're very happy that Allianz Insurance, for example, signed a multiple-year contract with us, financing an entire operation in India, and on their behalf, we create all this impact in this city of Trivandrum in South India. Since tracking our impact in April last year, we have collected around 400 tons of plastic. So last year it was 30 tons. This year we will cross 400 additional tons that we have collected. We created nearly 70 full-time jobs for local communities, people that usually don't have a bank account and are looking for jobs every day. And we gave them a full-time job. And we are, I think, one of the most efficient companies in the world in this regard, which is a bit scary because we only collected 400 tons. I mean, I'm proud of our development, but it's million tons of plastic entering the ocean. So we really need to scale. Especially, we will focus on India in the upcoming year and years. There's a lot of work to do, I can assure you that. And we actually decided to fundraise. We're a bootstrapped startup. We're profitable by the end of the year. We're in a pretty good position to fundraise because we don't actually need to fundraise. And we figured out that with our metrics of financing every kilo with €1, we're actually making the entire company work. So yeah, we're already speaking with a couple of potential lead investors and are raising around 2 to 3 million. This is the beautiful river Ganges in India, where we operate. We're collecting 100 tons. And what we try to preserve with Plastic Fischer. Thanks.
Thank you, Karsten.